If you've seen a car advertisement in the past few months, and particularly if you watch the Super Bowl, or, well, if you're subscribed to this channel, then I'm sure you're well aware that EVs are big news in 2021, with nearly every legacy automaker doing some kind of a pivot towards electric vehicles and more startup EV builders coming into the market. This is the year that is probably going to be remembered as the beginning of the electric car takeover. And that means for the first time, we actually have a wide selection of electric vehicles coming to the market that aren't made by Tesla, which is great news. Obviously, we are big fans of the brand, it's literally in our name, but Tesla can't be all things to all people. So let's take a look at what kind of new electric vehicles that the auto industry is bringing to the market in 2021. Hey Elonites, welcome to the Tesla space where we share the latest news, rumors, and insights into all things Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk. Kicking things off with the South Korean duo of automakers Hyundai and Kia, surprisingly enough, these two sister companies are bringing some absolute fire to the EV market. They both have some really neat cars on the way that are generating a ton of hype. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is a mid-size crossover SUV that combines a reasonable price point of around $45,000 with a good range of 300 miles and all-wheel drive. Plus, it has a really classy, futuristic design going on. That diagonal cut across the side is just enough flair to make a statement without looking ridiculous. BMW should be taking notes after their interesting take on a grille. This is just the start of Hyundai's Ioniq sub-brand. They hope to grow this lineup to over 20 different vehicles by 2025. And it's looking very promising. They're using an 800-volt architecture that will allow for super fast charging speeds that should let you gain back 60 miles of range in about 5 minutes. The Ioniq 5 is clearly taking advantage of the extra space available by the EV design, and this car has a huge, comfy-looking cabin with tons of legroom all around. These are arriving in fall of this year. On the way from Kia is the CV, possibly also called the EV5 or EV6, which is another crossover SUV design. This is built on the same modular platform as the Ioniq 5 and shares the same 800-volt fast-charging architecture and 300-ish miles of range. We haven't seen an official debut for this one yet, but the Kia looks like it comes with a more aggressive styling than the Ioniq and some serious performance capability. The GT version of this SUV is supposed to be capable of 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, which is about the same as a Porsche Taycan while offering much more cargo space and longer range than the Porsche. This one should be on sale by July 2021. Volkswagen is trying so hard to beat Tesla, and it's kind of adorable. In March 2021, Volkswagen hosted their first Power Day, where they made a bunch of new announcements about their new EV strategy. One of those announcements was their plan to build 6 new gigafactories in Europe over the next decade. Yeah, they're straight up copying Tesla's names and terminology, and the chairman of the company has been doing his best to imitate Elon Musk in his public presentations, even starting up a personal Twitter account just last December. And I don't even need to check to know his memes will not hold up to Elon standards. But anyway, the strategy comes off as more humorous than offensive, and imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, I guess. Unfortunately, Volkswagen's technology is not quite living up to their enthusiasm at the moment. They've got some troubles with their battery tech. We'll get into the specifics of different EV battery designs in a future video, so make sure to subscribe and don't forget to thumbs up the video today. The Volkswagen ID4, and I don't know if it's ID or ID, which I definitely should know, but is new for 2021 and should be delivered to customers in the first half of this year. It's yet another crossover SUV design and starts from a comparatively low price point of $40,000. This car does offer a decent range of 250 miles, but they clearly had to nerf the power delivery to achieve that number. This car is pretty slow, and not just slow compared to a Tesla, it's like slow compared to pretty much any other modern car. We're talking 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds. Though I will say, most reviewers who have had the chance to drive it seem to agree that it's a perfectly fine car. if just not very exciting. Which is fine. Not everyone cares about how fast their car goes. I have seen a few comments about the infotainment being super laggy on this car though. It's probably fixable in a software update. Moving up in the Volkswagen family to Audi. This luxury car maker has decided that they will put a stop to their international combustion engine development program. So Audi will still be selling ICE vehicles, but only with the existing motors that they have right now. They'll never design a new gasoline engine again. It's a bold move that's definitely worthy of respect. The latest in the Audi e-tron lineup is their GT sedan, available summer 2021, and this is basically everything you would come to expect from an Audi sports sedan, just without the gasoline engine. This shares the same platform as the Porsche Taycan from last year, but with a much more luxurious interior fit and finish. Unfortunately, this one suffers from a lot of the same issues as the Porsche, or Porsche, depending on how you want to say it. It's a shame they didn't try to upgrade this platform, especially for the price. $140,000 gets you the top tier RS model that does 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. It's not slow, but it's not that impressive either for an EV, and the range is nowhere near in line with the price tag. 232 miles is pretty bad by standards in 2021 and doesn't represent a high-end luxury product. So A for effort, but the tech needs some work. Ladies and gentlemen, it happened. We finally have a new EV design coming from Nissan, the makers of the Leaf, which is a much-loved electric car and was the top-selling EV for years until the Tesla Model 3 recently took that crown. The Nissan Ariya is, you guessed it, another crossover SUV, but this looks like a really good one. You can configure the Ariya with your choice of battery, either standard or long-range cells, and the drivetrain can be either front or all-wheel drive. Starting price for front-wheel drive and standard range will be right around 40 grand. Depending on what combination you choose, the range will be somewhere between 200 and 300 miles. Performance is pretty nice as well. Going with all-wheel drive will bring your 0 to 60 time to just under 5 seconds. And most importantly, it will take out the Nightwalker King if needed. The interior control layout looks particularly nice for a car in this price range. Dual 12-inch display screens and what looks like haptic touch controls for climate. Coming to the market in the second half of 2021, this might be the best buy on the whole list for a practical family car that's still fun to drive. Now, I'd be wrong not to mention a couple of the good old American automakers who are putting in a solid effort when it comes to electric vehicles. While Chrysler is over in the corner trying to cram their Hellcat V8 motor into a minivan or whatever the hell they do anymore, brands like GM are going hard on EV innovations, and they've been turning out some really compelling products. Their new Bolt EV and EUV need to be mentioned in this video because their price point has come down to a real sweet spot. Now, this is still no $25,000 electric car, but the base model Bolt does cost just $32,000, and that's not bad at all. The EUV, which offers more cargo space, is just a bit higher at $34,000, and you still get a very nice 259 miles of range for your money. Do you now see why I rip Audi and Porsche? The cheapest EV in America has more range than your $140,000 luxury machine. Anyways, this new Chevy Bolt is actually over $5,000 cheaper than the previous version of the car, which makes it significantly cheaper than the Tesla Model 3 and won't see the two cars competing for market share as much. It's a good strategy from GM. These cars support fast charging at 100 miles of range in just 30 minutes. You can also add some nice upgrades to the Bolt, including the Super Cruise Drive Assist, which is very similar to Tesla Autopilot. The only downside is that there is no all-wheel drive option package available for these cars. Okay, time to move on to a couple of newcomer startup companies that should be releasing their first production vehicles into the market in 2021. As nice as it is to see legacy automakers slowly transitioning to EV, it's really cool to see brand new companies coming out and pushing innovation in the electric vehicle space. There are a couple that should be drawing a lot of attention over the next few months. Rivian with their R1T looks like they will actually beat the Cybertruck to market in 2021, We're expecting to see the first limited release of Rivian's electric pickup truck dropping in June this year, and it's going to be nuts. This is a much more traditional pickup truck design than the Tesla, but it's packing all kinds of modern tech. The standout feature for Rivian is a 4-motor drive system, one for each wheel. This gives them a 0 to 60 time of just 3 seconds and will add some really unique maneuvering capability for off-roading, like the tank turn, where the whole truck just spins in place. The Rivian is a bit more of a luxury product than the Cybertruck, with upscale features like a fancy interior and paint on the body, so it does come in at a much higher price point than the Tesla competition. The R1T is selling between $67,000 and $75,000. Then there's Lucid. I don't know what to say about these guys anymore. I'll admit I bought into the Lucid hype a couple months back, but as time goes on, I find this company more and more sketchy. Back in September, they had a media launch for the Lucid Air with some very fancy presentations and lots of neat promises about amazing things that they have invented that were way better than anyone else. And they have a very charming CEO with a British accent who is great at speaking a lot of marketing fluff without actually explaining anything, which is all fine if they just show us a damn car. But they have yet to do that, and it's getting kind of awkward. The Air was supposed to launch this spring, but now it's delayed, which is weird because they told us they already had a manufacturing plant in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, and this is a $160,000 car. They're only making a few thousand copies. It's not like they're gearing up for mass production or anything. They can't even release a review car, so maybe some automotive journalists could try it out. Apparently, they did have a working car that was driven by a couple of people, and they thought it was amazing, but not amazing enough, so Lucid had to shut down production to make their car even more amazing before they could deliver it. I'm pretty sure that's actually their story. Then there's the whole CCIV stock kerfuffle. My condolences to anyone who bought into that at $50 or $60 a share, thinking it was going to the moon, and is now holding a bag of $23 stocks that are going nowhere. So yeah, upon further investigation, I think Lucid might be a scam. They're obviously better at it than, say, Nikola, but in my opinion, they're still sketchy as hell. Though genuinely, I would love to be proven wrong and for them to turn the corner and make this all a reality. So that's everything that I'm looking forward to when it comes to electric vehicles in 2021. I think we've got a ton of great options on the way from more builders than just Tesla. The future is bright for EVs. Let us know in the comments which cars you are all most excited for, and is there anything you like that didn't make our list? Quick reminder to sign up for our newsletter for more Tesla news and speculation. There's a link down below, theteslaspace.com. Interested in Bitcoin? Check out our partners at BlockFi to invest your cryptocurrency. Use our link in the description to receive $250 in free Bitcoin when you sign up. If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.